about getting out on the field for the first time on Saturday. Did you kind of feel right at home as you kicked off the season there?
Yeah, it was a good feeling. It's always nice to see a new face because, going against the same guys every day ever since spring practice. So it was good to be out there and to compete against another team and to wipe the rust off a little bit.
Talk about Bruce Mack a little bit. He obviously had a huge game. Can you talk about the way he's developed and what he brings to this team?
He's developed tremendously as a young, ever since he was young. I mean, this off season we really worked together a lot. Me and a lot of the receivers were working this off season, and he's just grown, and I think he understands the game a little bit better. Not just the X's and O's, but in the film room, he understands the game a little bit better, and that helps him get open, and he's a good athlete, he's going to make plays. So when he's open, I'm going to throw him the ball, and, he does what he does after the catch.
Alex, there were some questions with regards to your offensive line going into the season, considering who you guys lost last year. After one game, do you feel a little bit better about who you have in front of you, knowing that maybe this is what you have set and going forward, or is there still some questions with regards to personnel?
Oh, I felt good about him ever since the beginning, ever since spring ball. We lost some good guys last year, but we had 3 returning starters on the offensive line, and we had Bogans and Sam, who are good, big offensive linemen, and it's just about experience for them, getting out there and just competing against other guys, other teams. They're just going to continue to grow, as the season goes on and on, but I feel very comfortable behind them.
So the stats say they're a great rush defense. Give me your expectation for what you're facing and what that means for you as a quarterback.
Well, I mean, I've been in the film room a lot this week. Been looking at them and seeing what their tendencies are. They like to stop the run. They were very good at that last year. I think they were first in the country in stopping the run. So, I mean, we're just gonna have to game plan to that. We're gonna have to be able to work in some reads. Read some guys. Throw the ball around a little bit. But we're gonna take what they give us.
What excitement do you get when you know there might be a heavy passing attack plan for a certain opponent?
I mean, as a quarterback, I love throwing the ball, but it helps when you have a established running game too. So, I mean, throwing the ball is exciting for me. I like running read too. I like running the ball some too, but it's definitely exciting.
I know your team usually doesn't look at rankings and all that stuff when it comes to that, but has it been hard for you guys with the way campus is kind of embrace the fact that you guys are 4th in the nation? I'm sure you're hearing it a little bit more than you have in the past, considering this is kind of uncharted territory for you guys. How do you block that stuff out when everybody's coming to you, patting you on the back, saying, hey man, you guys are 4th in the nation?
I'd say last year, you kind of look at it a little bit more, because that's new to us. But going forward this year, we're kind of used to that. So I don't think it's anything that's hard to just shake off and not look at. I mean, we know we're 4th in the country, but we know that really doesn't matter right now. We just got to continue on what we're doing right now. We got to continue winning games, and we got to do that by taking it week at a time.
You had kind of a rare opportunity to watch A&T play on national TV. I know you saw the game.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it before we had meetings on Sunday. I mean, and they look good. They look pretty explosive. So it's fun to play a good team. They look very well balanced in their first game. So I mean, I'm just looking forward to this game.
You guys saw.
Go ahead.
You saw them 2 years ago. I know you weren't playing that game, but you
Right.
saw them 2 years ago. Have you been told that this is a much better team than what we saw 2 years ago? Has that been the message from the coaches?
I mean, yeah, I believe they're a better team from watching them. But I mean, we have a good offense. We have a good defense, more well-rounded defense this year, and I feel like we just need to go out there. We need to play the type of ball that we play, and I feel like we're going to be all right.
Anything else for Alex?
Just your assessment of your receiving core after one game, getting used to all the new starters there.
I've had complete confidence in all those guys ever since they were backups last year. They were kind of role players last year, but now it's their time to kind of step in and fill the role of the starter and be leaders, and they've done that, and they've done a tremendous job at doing that.
Were there any communication wrinkles you had to work out during that first game, or was everything pretty much ready to go?
Not at all. You know, it was all kind of first game stuff. You know, there's obviously a little wrinkles you got to get straightened out first game, but I don't think that's because they're new receivers. I think that's just because it's first game, and we're getting kind of wiping the rust off, getting a hold of that, and straightening that out.
Can you talk about Bruce Mapp a little bit, the way the kind of the performance he had, and what he sort of brings to the table?
Yeah, I think Bruce is certainly one of our, without question, one of our hardest workers. He's on special teams, he's on offense, he's in there or doing something literally every play, almost every play as far as practice goes. He's done an incredible job, I think, learning his craft over the span of the last couple of years. He's a leader on campus. He's elected as vice president of I don't know if that's the entire school, but vice president. And I think he has the type of work ethic that everybody appreciates. He's born and raised in Philadelphia, Philly, played the Philadelphia Catholic League, and is really an outstanding leader for us. He's a member of the Team Leadership Council. He's got good hands, but he works hard, he's disciplined, he understands the game.
Coach, I didn't get a chance to catch you down there, but I want to ask you a little bit about special teams. If there was anything, there were some field goals that didn't make it through the uprights. Is that something that you guys talked about and working on?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, we're working on it as well, but I think the bottom line is if you look at the 2012 season, Alex had a game or so where he wasn't as consistent. I'd say the same, lose one game like that in 2013, and hopefully that's the game he had for 2014, but he has always been good under pressure. He's incredibly consistent. He's been consistent in practice. I have no doubt I have no questions on whether or not we're going to be able to count on him the rest of the season. We will. I think as far as, Mike already alluded to this. When you look at their defense, they were the #1 rushing defense in the country a year ago. They certainly did a good job the other day. They were #1 pass defense in the country in 2012. So they're certainly a defense to be reckoned with. Our offense is going to have to, we're going to have to make good decisions with regards to our checks. We're going to have to make sure we're going to the right side. We're throwing when we're supposed to throw, running when we're supposed to run. We need to be a little bit more effective, I think, in terms of our perimeter game. From an offensive perspective, we've got to do a little better job of holding on to the ball when the ball comes our way. We've got to do a little bit of job of that. And frankly, I think our offense expects this. When we get to the 35-yard line or so, I know we have a high percentage with regards to red zone efficiency, but some of those 3 points have to become 7 points. And when we get to the 35-yard line, we've got to turn those into points. So I think we can be a little bit more consistent on offense, but we're playing a very good defensive team. I think from a defensive perspective, I think their running back, number 28, I think he's the real deal. He had a lot of accolades a year ago, deservedly so. He's a preseason pick to be an All-American, deservedly so. He averaged 16 yards a carry the other day. He's a very good back. They can throw to him. He can run the ball. He's a good back. Now, what makes him more dangerous is that their quarterback, who, by the way, happens to be a local kid, their quarterback also has the ability to run. So when he's reading his zone or he's reading something, and if we're overplaying 28, then he's going to keep the ball, and he's very, very effective as a runner. He can also throw the ball. Now, he's probably a little better runner, but they're being able to run their quarterback or their tailback and being able to read that is very, very effective for them. So our defense, it's going to be a real test for us. We're going to have to make sure we are disciplined with regards to our reads, and we're going to make sure we're tackling well. We can't get sloppy. If we get sloppy, they're going to hurt us on a play action. With regards to special teams, I think they're sound across the board. They had a punt return the other day for a touchdown, was called back. They had a kickoff return the other day. I think that held up. So they have kids that can break one on you, at any point in time throughout the span of the game. So we've got to be very disciplined in terms of where we kick the ball and make sure we're disciplined with regards to our lanes, and we got to make sure we're disciplined in terms that in terms of the stuff that we're trying to do from a special teams perspective too. So I wouldn't underestimate one more factor, and that is, no matter how you cut it, they had an incredible win the other day. They're up significantly at halftime, and that was on national TV. So that's going to jack them up. They're going to feel very, very good about that. We beat them a couple of years ago. In fact, their quarterback started against us in that game. I think he did. And I think it's going to be a good football game.
Facing an effective rush defense like they have, how does that change your game plan, knowing that you have a pretty versatile passing attack? Do you lean more on that this week?
Yeah, I think we're going to stay pretty disciplined in terms of our approach. So the way Dave Patton and the offensive staff have always looked at this and what we're thinking philosophically, we go in each game with the idea that we want to be balanced, both running and passing. But then depending on what you give us, we will emphasize more one phase of the game than another. So if you're giving us things in the air, we're going to just take more advantage of that. If you're giving us things on the ground, we're going to take advantage of that. We know they're a good defense. We know that. We understand that. But if they cheat one way, they're going to have to play us reasonably balanced, because if they cheat one way to take one thing away, we're going to come after them something else. So they got to be prepared for our offense as well. But we expect that to be a test.
And their running back, he's a short guy. What's his style? What stands out to you about the way he?
I think he reminds me a little bit of D'Angelo. I think they probably have similar builds. I think D'Angelo's better looking, but I think they have similar builds. And this is a powerful, compact, great balance, very quick, good speed, strong kid. He's just a very good back. Come on, give me something tough.
Would you call them a virtually one-dimensional team? I mean, they really don't throw it around all
The answer is no, I wouldn't. And the reason why I wouldn't is because while they run the ball, they can do a lot of different things with it. So even though you're looking at one phase of the game, if you can do multiple things out of that phase, they're not one-dimensional. So if the only thing they could do, for example, is line up an eye kind of power football straight ahead, that's one-dimensional. But they can go inside, they can go outside with the same kid. They can fake inside and go outside with the quarterback. So the quarterback and the running back give them dual dimensions, both inside and outside, with regards to the running game. Now, off that, while the quarterback's not an experienced drop back passer, what he's pretty effective with is his play action. So they have this wonderful running game that you've got to respect. And now you get lulled to sleep a little bit. Now it's a play action pass. And if you're not being disciplined and making sure you pay attention to your reads, you can get very, very much burned there. So for those reasons, I'd suggest not one-dimensional. We've got to look at them as reasonably balanced. For those reasons.